And so I don't know what they thought at the time. But then when we got to Atlanta, the station I was going to work for was there also to greet me. So I'm only imagining what the movers are thinking. Holy shit. They're saying hi, and then they're saying, it's just crazy. Goodbye, and then hi. Hold on. I'm going to put this up here so you can see. There's Randy. Hang on.
Hey, Bob,
Ross.
can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
Oh, hi, Bob.
Hey, do me
I
a favor.
cannot
I'm
hear
about
you.
to.
Hold on, let
I'm
me get
about
him
to
in
shoot my
here. 'Cause I want to
radio.
make sure that's why I came in
Call you
early.
back later.
I'll be right back.
Okay, thanks, buddy.
Can you talk one more time, Bob?
Okay, so hang on. I'm hearing you.
Yeah, I
It's
can't
not
hear
off
you.
of your
So
headset.
let me.
But it's not off of your headset. It's oh, he's gonna go get this guy. Here comes. Oh, Greg's coming. Good. So you'll be able to see. Can you see okay there? Or I can actually put it up here. You sure? All right, so hold on. Oh, that's me. That's what it was. So which is better, up here or down here? Down here? You got it, baby. You, of course. It's good you do. Is it good with you? Okay, so now good. Good. Test, test, test. Okay. Testing here.
That's good. Right here. Bob, can you hear me?
Yeah, I've got you now. Can you hear me okay?
Yes,
Yeah.
I can hear him through here.
Okay.
That's it. I just turned it off. Thank you.
Nice job,
Yes, I got it.
Mr.
Thank you.
Rocky. I just emailed Lee.
Who?
Lee Harris.
Oh,
Remember
okay.
her? Yeah.
Yep.
So Randy's a friend and knows what I've been through, both with Sandy, who used to work for him at one part, and with Michelle. So I want you to meet somebody. You're the only one who sees this, right? Okay. So say hi. Wait, let me turn this around. Say hi. That's Marcia.
Hi, Marcia.
So
how are you?
She's great. She's great. So we only know each other a little more than a week, but there's a lot of chemistry in that amount of time.
So
She's on the way
Living?
out. Yeah, that's a long story. She's buying a house. I don't think she's using you as a lender. She's buying a condo, and it's not ready yet. I gave her did I tell you I gave her that letter to get out at the beginning of December?
No.
Yeah. So I'm trying to keep it calm and without blowing up. But it's difficult. But needless to say,
So how did you all meet?
we actually, what was it, on Match that we met? Yeah, on Match. I had
good.
just signed up, and I've got sun coming in. Just signed up, and it's been great. So, and
Good.
this is only like our third or fourth time that we've seen each other. So, yeah. So, hold on, let me see where Lee is. I'm gonna call. Oh, here's Lee. Speaking of Lee. Okay,
All right.
coming on.
So do you hear much echo now?
No, you're still echoing. Bring that microphone up towards a little bit.
Okay.
Okay, hold it there, and bring your headset a little closer to the front of your mouth. Yeah, that's good. You can always play around with it. Yeah, let me hear you now.
All right. How about now?
Yeah, that's
Is
good.
that better?
Yeah, that's much better. Okay, so Lee is going to be coming in. I think Greg is not joining us today. He's got too many things going on. So, we'll
Who
do
am I doing the second show with?
well, it will be with Chuck, but you'll never see him because we already pre-recorded his questions.
Oh, okay.
Because he's going to Antarctica. He's going to the South Pole.
So I'm just asking, is the reason why I don't do Kevin at all anymore? I just wanted to see.
Only because Brad had to switch because he's the head of the whatever group that he's in.
The home inspection?
The something that he's doing,
Yeah.
and he can't do the show. There's no reason. I mean, other than
I was just making sure I didn't make.
Yeah, it's not like he
mad.
said, "Oh, I don't want to work with Randy Rocky." No, it's not. By the way, your microphone slipped down again.
Okay, I'll keep it up. I'll make sure.
You don't
I
have
keep
to.
it up
No,
when
you
I'm
don't.
talking.
Let it go and see what it stays. Let's see what
Hello?
happens. I'm going to
Hello?
call Lee's not.
There she
I'm
is.
here.
There she is, Lee, baby.
Hello.
How you,
Hey.
doll?
Good. How are you?
Good.
I heard that whole
Good.
conversation. You all couldn't hear me, so I was,
We got you now. We're good.
Okay, cool.
Life is good.
Life is good. How about you
Life
all?
is good. All right, we're good.
All right, cool.
All right, so
That's
here's
cool.
the deal. So, Randy is we're doing the show, and then Randy's sticking around. We'll say goodbye, and then you can go,
Okay.
Lee, and then Randy's
Okay.
sticking around and do another couple of questions for a show in 2 more weeks that will air.
Okay.
Cool.
All right. So here's timer. We all ready? Oh, that doesn't.
Ready?
Yes.
Well, that's not what I wanted. Hold on. For whatever reason, I'm getting an ad.
Lee, is it picking up a little bit, or did it ever slow down for you guys?
No, it hasn't slowed down. It's busy, so that's good.
Well, it slowed down for us. It's picked it up
Has
now,
it?
though.
It slowed up. It slowed for us as well.
That's
Okay.
usual. I mean, that's holidays and things too. You can't really tell if it's holidays
No, I
or
mean
if
it slowed down in
Oh.
November and December.
Oh wow, yeah.
Yeah, but it's picking up.
It's
Thank God.
the interest rates, and it's all the interest rates' fault, by the way, just so you know. Yeah.
I know.
No doubt.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Stand by. News Radio 840 WHAS. Good Sunday morning, Bob Sokoler and the Louisville Real Estate Show, and welcome to 2023. We made it, folks. Good to know. For this first show of the year, we have some great folks with us. Randy Rocky, who is one of the head guys over at Swan Financial. You can reach Randy at 645-0736. Also here, another dear friend of mine, Lee Harris, legal counsel, Limestone Title and Escrow. And you can reach out to Lee anytime on her personal cell phone at area code 502-649-7964. And if you are thinking about selling your home here in 2023, you may want to reach out to me. I can talk to you about what the plan might look like. It's free, no obligation. We can get together and just talk. You can reach me anytime on my cell phone at 376-5483. And we'll be giving those numbers out as we go through the show. A reminder, we're doing our Zoom show because of COVID still. I know COVID is kind of in the background, but we're still doing it via Zoom, and it makes it very easy for us to gather to do the show, doesn't it? Yeah. So
does, yeah.
if you want to see a replay of this show, at any time you can go to LouisvilleAnswers.com. That's LouisvilleAnswers.com. It's a redirect to our YouTube channel where we have video of the show as well as the audio, of course. Coming up a little later on in the show, the strangest and most extreme requests realtors have received from clients. It's kind of a follow-up to last week's show. So we'll start off the new year with Lee, a question for you. Jessica writes in that she has her house on the market and her agent just called and is asking if other agents' buyers can come see her house. Apparently, the other agents' buyers are busy, I guess, on this New Year weekend, and her agent, Jessica's agent, is busy, and so the agent's asking, should I let them in by themselves? I have an answer, but Lee, let's from an attorney's standpoint, what are your thoughts?
Well, number one, it would have to be up to the seller, I guess, because one of the reasons you have an agent with you is because you don't necessarily want unknown random people in your house without supervision. But if the seller said yes, I guess it's okay. But from a legal standpoint, I'd say don't do it because there's a lot of liability there. They could be totally legit, but they could also be somebody who's looking for some kind of medication or looking to scan the place to maybe come back later. I just think that having either the seller's agent or the buyer's agent or the seller present would be a better idea.
Absolutely correct. That would be my suggestion. Never, ever let people who are unrepresented in to see the house unless the agent is there, because they're responsible ultimately for the buyer when they walk through their home. And not that we're saying there's going to be anything nefarious, but having an agent there who's licensed, the buyer's agent specifically, is the best protection and caution that you could take when showing the home. So the answer, Jessica, is I would not let the buyers in. They can reschedule. All right, Randy, we go over to you, and Joe is writing in, and he's about to purchase a home, and at the last minute, Joe was told his house was not insurable. Now, from what Joe writes, the mortgage company had no problem with his home, but his insurance company indicated that there was extensive water damage and they weren't going to insure it. So I'm not so sure about the extensive water damage, but he's asking, how is that possible? How does his insurance company know that there may have been water damage or even say no go on a purchase?
Well, I would think that would have came out in the home inspection. If it didn't come out in the home inspection, I think he can go to another insurance company because I have never heard of that. You learn something new every day, and I learned something new today that water in a home, I don't know where they would have received that information. So I think that what he would need to do is just get other insurance companies involved.
So I will tell you, from having done this show for a number of years, we've had a question like that, similar to that, years ago. And what I did find out is that there is a national clearinghouse for all insurance agents. And what they do is they check to see if there have been any claims filed against a home in the past years.
Right.
We talked about this maybe a week or two ago, that someone wanted to there was a claim made on a roof, and one of the people didn't want to replace the roof and just wanted to go ahead and patch the roof and pocket the rest of the money, which would be illegal. But the same premise holds, that maybe something had happened that's on this national registry, Joe, which is what's preventing the insurance company from insuring your house, the house you're buying. I think Randy's got a good point. Go to another insurance company and then let them do the workup and see if it comes back. If so, you got a problem, and it's better to know that in advance before you buy the home. Yeah. All right, we move over now, Lee, and a reminder that if you'd like to see, as we go forward here, what sellers are saying about us, my Sokoler team, you can go to LouisvilleSellersTalk.com, or you can do just go on and type in Louisville Zillow or LouisvilleGoogle.com, and that'll take you to reviews. So you got video and reviews to learn about us as we move forward in 2023. So Lee, Vicky just completed moving into her new condo, and her moving company broke some of her furniture, and that includes the TV. Now they're, according to Vicky, they're giving her somewhat of a hard time, a runaround, she says, about fixing or replacing the TV. And she's wondering, what are her options? Are we looking at a small claims court?
Yes. Well,
Yeah.
I'm certain that if she looked at her contract, there's got to be something in the contract with the movers as to what they're responsible for and their liability and all of that. And after she's reviewed that, if it's a TV that's less than $2,500 and they won't pay for it, then she can tell them, I'm taking you to small claims court. If it's more than $2,500, then she can go to district court, which is up to $5,000. If TV's more than $5,000, it's
Yeah.
a pretty nice TV. So, yes, I would just actually send them a letter first and say, this is what I expect based on paragraph such and so of our contract. If you don't do that, then by next, give them a deadline by next Wednesday, January, whatever, I will be placing a claim with the small claims court.
Yeah, maybe that works. When you move, they offer you advanced or some sort of more costly insurance. I've
Right.
never known whether that's legit or there's any benefit in doing anything like that. If anybody knows, let us know and send us an email, bob@wesellouisville.com, because we'd love to spread the word if there is a reason to do enhanced insurance to protect your valuables, right? All right, we move forward. Randy Michael writes in, he's buying his first house later this month, and he wants to know, and I know this is going to be tough for you to ballpark here, but wants to know, when will the first mortgage payment be due? So let's talk about that process, because there is somewhat of a time period between closing and the first mortgage payment. Explain why.
Sure. So if give an example, if he closes in March, his first payment will be May 1st. If he closes in April, his first payment will be June the 1st. So you skip a calendar month and then you make a payment. In most situations, you make a payment the following month.
And that's actually true also if you're refining as well. You skip a month. So you're paying the taxes in advance and insurance. Is that what you're doing? Is that why you're skipping a month?
And escrowing. So you're paying 15 usually, and Lee knows about this as well. Usually about 15 months in insurance, and depending on when you close, so they take 3 months plus 12. And usually when you close on taxes, it just depends on the time of year when you close on taxes. But, what we normally do is in most situations, like if you close in May, you're looking at about 6 months.
Okay. Yeah, it's a little benefit when you do a refi or when you close, you got a little bit of some extra cash coming your way. We've got more questions coming up, and a reminder a little later on, the strangest and most extreme requests realtors have received from their clients. This ought to be interesting as I read this through to you. Lee, the next question sent to us from Thomas may be interesting to a lot of homeowners. He says he bought a home in 2020. Thomas writes, he said it was professionally appraised for $65,000. The county, he doesn't say which county that is, but it could be any of our counties, is taxing him on $106,000 without ever seeing the home. He says, on top of that, my homeowner insurance has gone up 183% based on an arbitrary county valuation. He says he can't afford it. He'll have to sell his home. He was told he can't protest his property taxes because the home was a foreclosure. He says he's 63, single, lives on disability, doesn't have a professional appraisal, but should he get one? How should he proceed?
Well, if in most counties there is an appeal process, and it usually requires, for example, in Jefferson County, it requires getting 2 arm's length appraisals and then submitting an appeal to the Jefferson County Council, who does those hearings, and then they will determine what the real value is according to today's market, and they will either reassess the taxes or not.
Yeah.
So most people don't do it because they just figure, well, by the time I pay all this money and go through all this, what if they just don't even reassess? And I think probably the issue that it was a foreclosure. Probably the house probably is worth more than what he paid for it, because In a foreclosure sale, you usually get properties for a very good price. So he may have made up for the price what he's now, paying for in taxes and insurance.
Well, the other thing is he can do is he is under a homestead exemption. When you're above 62 or above, and this is for all people on this show, you get $40,000 off your property tax. So, for example, if it's worth $100,000, you go to $60,000, and I can't emphasize this enough how some people don't take advantage of that. But that in that situation, that would get him back down to what he paid for the home.
Yeah, excellent point.
Good point. And when you mentioned an appraisal, 2 appraisals, Lee, could realtors do those as a CMA, a competitive market analysis, or does it have to be a legitimate appraisal from an appraiser?
Well, in Kentucky, you don't have to actually have an appraiser's license to do an appraisal, as long as it's not for a federal loan. So that's the purpose of it is just to make an appeal. I think they call it 2 uninterested housekeepers is how they say it in the old language of law. Yeah.
So that's why you're saying arm's length.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Not your neighbor. Right.
Understood. So Randy, before we go to break, one more question for you. Jessica's going to buy her first home in 2023. Congratulations, Jessica. And she's heard a variety of questions about how much of a home she can afford. And she's wondering, is there any formula that she can follow? Yeah. You got any formula that you would normally?
Yes, I really think any credit card expenses, car expenses, student loans, any expenses where you owe a debt on, and including your house payment, you don't want to be above 50%. I like to keep it more in the 40% range. So, for example, let's say that you have a $400 car payment and you make $4,000 gross a month. You would not want a mortgage, and that's all you have. You would not want a mortgage payment, including taxes and insurance, over $1,600.
Got it.
So that would get you at 50% debt to income is the way it's stated. And we do a very good job, and there are other companies that do, I'm sure, as well, but we really try to put the person in the right situation on debt to income. And she could call me about that. That's something in fact, one of my daughters is really big into the whole debt to income thing, and we've been talking about that. So anyways.
Well, and we'll give out Randy's number in just a second. And one little something as a little caveat here on this, Jessica, I would tell you, regardless of what you're told you can afford, it's something that really is more personal than that. It's how much do you feel, how comfortable do you feel making that payment every month? So if it feels like you're going to be breaking the bank or you're overdoing it, so take a step back, because that's important, right? Yeah. All right. When we come back, the strangest and most extreme requests that all of us realtors have received from clients. That should be interesting. With us and continuing to the top of the hour on this, the first day of 2023, Randy Rocky over at Swan Financial. They do a great job on getting you into a loan. You can reach Randy at 645-0736. And Lee Harris, legal counsel, Limestone Title and Escrow. And Limestone does a great job of closing that loan and getting you moving forward. And you can reach Lee. And by the way, they have great cookies over there. 649-7964 is Lee's direct. And my cell number, if you're thinking about selling, by the way, we have now 6 ways to help you sell. In fact, before you necessarily have to move out of the house. If you want more information about that, go to bobsellmyhome.com, or you can call me 376-5483. We're back in a moment on News Radio 840 WHAS. Hey, Randy, keep an eye on that microphone. It's dropping down again.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, just keep an eye. Oh, here we go. News Radio 840 WHAS, Bob Sokoler, the Louisville Real Estate Show. We're here with you till the top of the hour here on 840 WHS. Hope it's a good New Year's Day for you. It's first day of 2023. With us continuing, Lee Harris, legal counsel, Limestone Title and Escrow, 649-7964. Randy Rocky, Swan Financial, great people, 645-0736. And you can reach me, Bob Sokoler, anytime on my cell phone if you want to talk about a plan for putting your home on the market and possibly selling it in 2023 or beyond. You can reach me at 376-5483. The strangest and most extreme requests realtors have had. This is no joke. These have actually come in, and you might get a kick out of this. One client asked an agent to spy on a prospective buyer. Now, Lee, I'm going to bring you in on this in a second because there's a question that is involved in this. Terry in Missouri and one in Kansas said the strangest request. Client asked him to install a listening or video device in their home so they could keep and hear the prospective buyer's comments. Now, here's where this gets interesting on this particular question, that here in Kentucky, as long as, and correct me if I'm wrong, as long as one person knows that there is a recording taking place of the people who are being recorded, it is legal. Am I right so far, or clarify on that?
As long as one person in the conversation knows of it.
In the conversation.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Yet there are questions, and we talked about this in my team meeting a couple of days ago, that if you're outside a house and you're being videoed and listened to, you're fine. But if you're in the house, it's not legal. Now, can you clarify that? As long as one person knows in that conversation is being recorded, it is legal, right?
Yeah, that's right. So if the seller is asking the agent to listen to the buyers, the buyer knows that conversation is giving it knows that it's being recorded because the sellers are not part of the conversation.
So that would be illegal. Okay, got it. Another question, comment. One agent was asked to walk a client's dog every time he showed their home. That's kind of risky, especially if the dog doesn't know you. One foreign buyer wanted to buy a home over FaceTime, and in fact, he did it. And that's not so unusual these days, which happens because people are so excited to find a home that they like. They want to just buy it quickly. One client asked to use every bathroom in the home before buying it, presumably to check the water pressure. A seller wanted to buy the buyer to take their pet along with the home. So in other words, this is not a walking situation. You want my house? Great. You got to take the pet. That's unfortunate. I would never give up my doggies. Nope. No. An agent had to clean out a shed in a foot of snow because the homeowner forgot to do it. So this agent was asked to do it. A client asked agents to walk, get this, their parrot through the house to make sure the parrot was comfortable in the home. And one buyer asked the agent to spray a hose on each home they looked at to see how it would sound in the rain. All right, enough of those. You go on with your questions.
That's sometimes my favorite.
Which one's your favorite? The
hose.
The hose. See what I get that. All right, Randy. Manny is planning on applying for a mortgage this year, and he's heard through the grapevine that once he applies, there are some things he should not do. One of those things that Manny talks about is don't deposit large sums of cash, and he's wondering why. Now, I'm going to give you some of the other things that I've thought of, and you may come up with some of them yourself, but let's go over the reasons behind this. So don't deposit large sums of cash. Why?
Because then we have to source it and find out where that cash came from, and then that gets into a whole nother can of worms.
I got it. Okay.
Yeah.
So then
if we already have enough assets
to
close the loan, if it's not a zero money down deal, then we just want you to have your normal work income come in, and that's it. I really don't even want bonuses to go into that account. I'd rather them go into a savings account, this normal income.
All right. So why would Manny or anybody else who's applying for a mortgage not make any large purchases? What does that fall over?
Right. So if you make a large purchase, if you pay cash for it and it doesn't come out of the checking account or the savings account where you verified the funds to close on the house for the down payment, then we're okay with that. But I'd rather them stay out of that. But if they do make a large purchase and get it financed, and we just talked about debt to income a little bit earlier, Bob, that opens up a whole nother can of worms. Then we have to rerun the file to make sure it's approved. So we asked them really just not to make the purchases until after really they close the home.
How about co-signing a loan for anyone? What would be the reason?
Yes. Yes. So the same thing is obviously if you co-sign a loan, you're on the hook for it. So that changes your debt to income, which means we have to rerun everything for the underwriters to make sure it's an approvable loan.
So also, how about switching bank accounts after you've applied for a mortgage?
Just rather not do that because then you get into a situation of transferring the money over and then it's more verification. We just rather them wait until they finish closing the home and then they can switch bank accounts.
Two more things: applying for a new credit card or a loan while you are applying for a mortgage.
Yes, because then we have to verify that you did not get the mortgage or the credit card, because then you have a situation where you could have a debt to income issue as well. So just don't really have your credit pulled much more often. Of course, the client's allowed to do what they want, but we'd rather them not do that.
Yeah, it sends up a red flag. And then finally, closing a checking account. Why would that hinder the application for a mortgage?
Well, if it's the checking account we use to store the funds, and that's where that would get difficult. If it wasn't for that, then we wouldn't have a problem with it, but we just rather kind of keep everything status quo. We don't even want, like, if somebody has a medical bill to pay off or a collection, we just want everything status quo until we pay it off, and then they can negotiate those things out after that.
All right. Good answers. Hopefully that helped Manny in his application. You can always go to Swan and apply there too. All right. So we go over to Lee. David has an interesting question that should get the attention of all would-be real estate investors and for sale by owner home buyers. David writes, I am a novice real estate investor. I'm guessing David put an offer in on a home because he goes on to write, the stated closing date in the purchase agreement was supposed to be December 3rd. The house had a broken front window. I had an addendum stating that I wanted the window fixed by closing. The window wasn't fixed until December 14th. He told the agent that he wanted to close on January 1st, or in this case, January 2nd, I guess tomorrow, since the last closing date was missed. They refused. And then the seller's real estate agent and broker stated that David is out of contract, and they relisted the house. And now he's trying to get his earnest money back. So now there's a big brouhaha over this thing. So Lee, where does this fall in terms of your mind? Who's right? Who's wrong? What does our guy David need to do?
David, you were in the right. If you had a repair that was supposed to be done and it wasn't done timely, then and the closing was delayed because of that, then after that, you and the seller both had a reasonable time to close.
Yep.
I'd say 2 weeks, being January 2nd, is a reasonable time. And so without a release and giving you your money back and getting your release of your original contract, the property should not have been put back on the market. And you should get your earnest money back regardless, because really you've been in the right.
What would he do? Does he, I guess he goes to the broker, but more importantly, how does he, if he wants the house still, how does he proceed in your mind?
Well, if you are in Louisville, then there is a mediation arbitration provision in your contract. It's paragraph 26. And I would immediately contact the seller and the seller's agent through your buyer's agent and let them know that the buyer is still in contract and that they intend to enforce their contract. And if they don't agree, then you can always proceed to mediation. Got it.
All right. Good answer. We move forward. A reminder, if you'd like to hear our shows or listen to some of our past shows, we have, I don't know, 8 years worth of shows. You can go to WeSellLouisvilleRadio.com or wherever you get your podcasts. On Apple, for example, you can do a search for us on Apple Podcasts. Jennifer has okay credit. According to her email, she is concerned, Randy, about being turned down for a mortgage. So she's wondering, what are some of the things that she might be denied a mortgage as she makes application? She wants to be proactive. That's a good idea.
Well, I still think it's good to have your credit pulled by a mortgage company to see where you're at. And once we do that and we look at the credit score, then and what situations in, then we can put together on what if scenarios. If she pays down a credit card or if she pays off a collection, that we can get her approved, or she might be approvable now. And, that's something that our company does a great job with, because we are a broker and we have 40 different underwriters. Sincerely, we can get people approved, as you well know, Bob, that other people can't.
Yeah.
And I really recommend that in that situation, sincerely, that he reaches out to us. I mean, we're very good at putting people in that type of situation, and we're not a bank or a captive lender. There's a lot more options with Swan, as with us having 40 different underwriters and being a broker. So that's what I would do. I would have, if she doesn't want to use Swan, I would have at least somebody pull her credit and figure it out from there.
All right, quickly, there's been a lot of talk in years that if you have somebody pull your credit, it reduces your credit rating. So as kind of a caveat to this question.
Well, the only thing I will say about that, I mean, there are different people that think different things. My opinion is if you're doing a house, if you're looking at a home, that it will not affect it near as much or not at all. So, but if you're looking at doing furniture or more credit cards or 90 days, same as cash, yes, that can affect your credit. But due to the fact you're looking at a home, I've read all kinds of different statistics on it, but I feel like that you have a lot less chance of credit dropping, having a company pull it for an actual home.
Yeah. Plus, it's good to know where you stand before you start
Yes.
making application. Yeah. And I would always tell you to shop around for a mortgage lender. But the good
Yes.
news is that Swan does a great job. All right. We are out of time on this show. Certainly, it went very fast. I want to thank the participants, as they are on a regular basis. Lee Harris, Legal Counsel, Limestone Title and Escrow. You can reach Lee anytime, 649-7964. Thanks, Lee. Also,
Happy New Year, everyone. Thank you.
Happy New Year, right? And
Happy
Randy
New Year,
Rocky over
Lee.
at Swan Financial. You can reach Randy and have him pull your credit just to check to see where your credit is. You can reach him at 645-0736. And if you're thinking about selling your home here in 2023 or beyond, you can call me anytime and I'll come out. We'll just talk. We can do it via Zoom, or I can make an appearance at your house and we can review a plan. All you need to do is pick up a phone, give me a call. 376-5483. On behalf of all of us here on our radio show, Happy New Year, everybody. See you next Sunday on News Radio 840 WHAS. Lee, thank you. Randy, stick around and
you.
we'll shoot
All
the
right.
other part. You got it.
Okay, guys,
Thanks,
I'll
Lee.
see you in the new year. You're
Okay,
welcome.
darling.
Thank
Happy
you.
New
Take
Year,
care.
Lee.
All righty.
Bye-bye.
Okay. So, Randy, these are going to be rapid fire. I mean, you can take as much time as you want.
Sure.
News Radio 840 WHAS, Bob Sokoler, and the Louisville Real Estate Show. Hi, everybody. Hope you are having a good Sunday. We're here with you till the top of the hour. We've got some great questions with us on today's show. Randy Rocky from Swan Financial. You can reach Randy anytime at 645-0736. Also, Chuck Crosby from the Crosby Law Offices. You can reach Chuck on his phone at 499-6360. Randy, let's start with you. Elizabeth will be applying for her first mortgage in February, and she's wondering what documents does Elizabeth need to provide to get a home loan? I think this is a good question for anybody who might be thinking about purchasing a home. What documents, Randy?
Yeah, so we would want to look at her W-2s, her last 2 years' W-2s. If he's self-employed, we'd like her full tax returns. If not self-employed, then this last 2 years' W-2s, 2 most recent pay stubs. And if she's not doing a no money down home, bank statements on where she is actually getting the down payment money from, so we can look and verify that she has the actual down payment money for the home she's looking to purchase. And those are really W-2s and pay stubs and where you're going to get the money from for the down payment are the 3 most important things that we start out with. And then obviously we get into, once you buy the house, you know, who's going to be your person you do your homeowner's insurance with, and et cetera, et cetera.
Good. So that gives you a base to really start thinking about what you need, Elizabeth. I hope that helps you out here. A reminder, if you'd like to hear and see what people are saying about us, and also read, you can go to LouisvilleSellersTalk.com. You can also go to LouisvilleZillow.com or LouisvilleGoogle.com and read our reviews. All right, Randy, we're back over to you for another question, and this one comes from Brian. since we're doing our Zoom shows, we are getting these emails, and you can email me, Bob, at WeSellLouisville.com. Brian says he's heard bits and pieces about mortgage insurance. He's buying a new house this year. He's wondering, do I need to pay mortgage insurance? And I'm guessing he's talking about owner insurance from a mortgage standpoint. And the answer is yes, right? You're going to be required to pay for title insurance.
Well, I would think you think he's thinking private mortgage insurance?
Maybe.
Under 20%? Okay. So if it's under 20,
yeah,
go ahead.
No, I was going to say, let's cover both. So let's talk about.
Okay, yeah. So private mortgage insurance is if you're less than 20% that you put down on the house and you're not a veteran. Or you're active in the military. So VA loans do not require that, but that is a situation where you would, except for FHA, there are other stipulations, but you definitely do pay private mortgage insurance on FHA. So the situation would be is if you're putting 20% down, you would not have private mortgage insurance, but until you get up to
the 20% mark,
right? 20 where you have 20% value in the home, then the private mortgage would go away, except for FHA. It would continue, which hopefully by that point we can get you out of FHA and get you into a conventional loan. I know I've thrown a lot at you all at one time, but that's what private mortgage insurance is, and it ranges. On a $150,000-$200,000 house, you're looking, somewhere around $150 to $200 a month that you have to pay up and above your taxes and insurance. So homeowners insurance is obviously to cover the home in case you do have a fire or something of that nature. So that is a situation where you would have homeowners insurance on the house and for coverage. And then title insurance would be the lender as title when you actually do the closing. The lender says, hey, I want to make sure that there is not any liens on the house before, even on new construction. They're afraid that they might not pay the concrete guy. There's survey issues or something of that nature. So you have to get lender's title insurance in case one of them comes up. And we had it happen by the Louisville Zoo. We had it happen at Rough River, where there were some situations with boundary lines and things of that nature. So that's where title insurance comes in. And then homeowner's title insurance also covers you on the homeowner side, which, Bob, when we close your loans with you all, about 99% of the people at least close with homeowner's title insurance as well. And that covers you not only as a lender, but as a homeowner in case there is a lien on the property they did not see at the closing. If there's, boundary issues and things of that nature, this helps cover that. So there's
including
all the
legal
costs in
costs.
a nutshell.
Yeah, including legal costs that you might incur.
Yes, very, very good.
A variety of things. So there really is a reason to think about owner's title insurance as well as the requirement for mortgage insurance. So I think we've covered insurance pretty completely here, don't you think?
Yes, we did. It was a lot at once, but
yes, it was. Hopefully, that's why if you want to review what we're saying, because I know we're throwing a lot of stuff at you folks, you can go to LouisvilleAnswers.com. Again, LouisvilleAnswers.com, and that will redirect you to YouTube, and you'll be able to watch this show in its entirety as well as hear it. So you got both things coming for you. Ryan writes in, Randy, what credit score does he need to get approved for a mortgage? I know there's different mortgages, so let's go through the different credit scores that are needed.
So after we have a no score and we go down to a 500 credit score, literally, if it would be a manual underwrite. And what we do is we get it underwritten before, your team or someone else takes out a client, and they want to make sure they're going to get into the home. So we do that. So, 500 to 580 or 579, everything has to be manually underwritten, and we have to do an extensive manual underwrite. So, it's not that they work on it every minute of the day, but it usually takes a couple of weeks to get that through to make sure we're in good shape there. 580 and above, we get into automated approval situation, where what we're looking for is really what we talked about earlier, is verifying income and their assets for down payment. So from 580 to 850, an 850 credit score, that's what happens in that situation. But so those are kind of really, in a nutshell, what they can do.
We're going to take a break. When we come back, more of your questions continuing with us till the top of the hour. Randy Rocky from Swan Financial, 645-0736. Also, Chuck Crosby from the Crosby Law Offices at 499-6360. If you're thinking about buying a home, we've got agents that will help you. If you want to sell, I'm more than happy to come out. We can talk about the process and come up with a plan. You can reach me at 376-5483. We're back in a moment on News Radio 840 WHAS. And we're taking these out of order, Randy, so we'll have one more question, and then I'll be able to push everything together and cut it up, and it'll sound like a regular show. Yeah, here we go. News Radio 840 WHAS, Bob Sokoler, the Louisville Real Estate Show, here with you till the top of the hour. If you want to get in contact with me with regards to potentially wanting to sell your home or buy a home, you can reach me anytime. 376-5483. Also here continuing, Randy Rocky with Swan Financial. You can reach Randy at 645-0736. And Chuck Crosby from the Crosby Law Offices at 499-6360. If you are thinking you want to sell and you want to just get more information about some of the ways we have that are creative in selling your home and being able to find a home before you have to move out of your home, get a load of that, go to bobsellmyhome.com, and there's information there waiting for you. That's bobsellmyhome.com. Lisa, Randy, is buying a new home this year and writes in about mortgage payments. She wants to know at what point can she lock in on a loan when building a house. She's worried that interest rates will increase between the time she contracts with a builder and the time that they close. And she, from what are concerned that she may not be able to afford the home that she ends up wanting to build. So what would you suggest? How far in advance?
Well, we go as much as 12 months. Between 6 and 12 months, there is a fee up front of 1% of the loan amount that is non-refundable. Anything under 6 months, there is not a fee. And if we're inside of 30 days, if rates have dropped, we will do a one-time rate drop as well. So it kind of gives them an insurance policy on the one side. And if rates do drop, we actually will do a rate drop one time before we close. And we can do that on what's called to be determined properties. We don't even have to have a property address. Got it.
Well, we are out of time. And if you want more information from Randy over at Swan Financial, you can reach him anytime at 645-0736. Also, Chuck Crosby, the Crosby Law Offices at 499-6360. And if you want to reach out to me anytime about coming out and talking about selling your home or even talking on the phone or a Zoom meeting, you can reach me at 376-5483. We'll see you next Sunday on News Radio 840 WHAS. All right, Randy, baby. Thank you, buddy.
Well, we'll have to get out to dinner.
Yeah, we will.
Yes.
That'll be fun. And you'll be able to meet and actually talk to Marsha rather than just seeing her on the video. Okay. All right, brother.
Take care, Bob.
Take care, buddy. Okay.
Tell Marsha I said hi. Bye-bye.
Okay. She can hear you.
Bye-bye.
Okay. No. Bye.